So let's start by creating a new Vite project. So I'm gonna say yarn create Vite, and then choose the name of the project. I'm gonna say tasty tracks. I'm gonna choose React, TypeScript. When it's done, now there will be a new folder created. So I'm gonna cd into the folder. I'm gonna do a yarn install. So we're gonna wait for it to install. Now after the dependencies have been installed, let's launch Visual Studio Code in here and take a look. We've got the index.html, got source, app.tsx, which has some code. Let's run this code and see what's in store for us. Let's create a launch.json file. It's gonna be web app edge, and it's gonna be 5132, I think. I don't really remember. Yeah, 5173. So I've cleaned up the project. I cleaned the index.css. I removed the app.css, and the app I've just left this part of code. Makes it a bit simpler. So the main.tsx as well is very few bits of code. So there's a division, there's a hello. So the first thing I will do is create a components folder. So let's say components, and then I'm gonna clear the header.tsx, and then create React functional component. So by the way, there's an extension that does this. So you just say React functional component, or maybe you'd say React class component. So create a class component, and it will help us with boilerplate stuff. So let's say React functional component. So let's name it the header. Here, same thing. Let's say the header, and then we'll of course add navigation, and then we've got in links. So first of all, to add links, I'm gonna try to get the photo. So see the photo here, and then we've got the navigation. So let's zoom in into this thing. So we've got a logo here, and then we've got the navigation, and we've got the two buttons. So by the way, I haven't installed any dependencies yet. I'll try to install them right now. Then while they're being installed, let's add a UL, inside of it a li, and that li has inside of it an a. This will be repeated how many times? So I'll make it so it's 5 times 5. Do this, and it'll just give us the. So I don't have to add any links. So it's got save. Get back here, and then add the header. Yes, then save, and as it's installing, it will not refresh until I restart the server. And yeah, and then I'm gonna get the buttons here. So let's do a div. Sorry, div. Side of it a button order now. We got another one, which is gonna be a book table. Okay, so they're installed. It's supposed to have and design IntelliSense right now. Let's see if we have it. Yeah, we have it. Very good. Now this one is gonna be primary. So it's gonna be type primary. Cool. Now let's yarn run dev. There we can see what we're working with. I think npx tailwind init. Yes. So initialize tailwind. This is you can find this easily in the documentation of Tailwind. So let's say Edge. Let's run the browser. Let's say Tailwind CSS docs. So install and then npx tailwind init, and then you've got these. So the content. What we need in the content is okay. There's Tailwind config. Okay, to proceed. Now this one we have class name of flex. So this is Tailwind code. So we got flex and a gap of 2 been configured. Let's yes. stop the server, just so I can make sure that the configuration kicks in. Now the content, there's supposed to be some, HTML, not Vue, but JS. By the way, this is GitHub Copilot. It's helping me a little bit, with boilerplate code. So JS, JSX, DS, DSX. This is it. Now, so we'll start the server again. So after I've fixed some issues, I installed Tailwind. I also needed to install the auto prefixer. So we'll spin up the server again. Let's the code, yarn run dev. So the server is running now. So the thing I should do here is do this, okay, so this, CSS, and then there is this configuration. This is better. I'll save it. And what I need now for Tailwind is this Tailwind, these components thing. I need to add it to the index.css. So let's add it to the top here, like this. Now it works. Now let's close this one again, and then move bgred to 100. So there's gap of 2. Sorry. So I got a gap of 2. Now the header will have class name. Of course, we'll have flex item center. So you see me use flex a lot here, and I don't think it's a problem as long as you properly use it. So let's move this navigation thing. Let's keep it just as a UL, like Zelena, and then let's say display. Say flex, gap of 3 maybe. Yes, gap of 3. Let's add a padding of, that's just inline padding of 5. Let's make sure it grows so it takes up as much space as possible. If you see the design, you see that it is actually centered in the overall space that's remaining when we add the logo and the buttons. So for the header, we'll add a padding of 5. Okay, not 5, maybe 4. I think 4 is good. Now we need to add the logo. Since the logo is going to be reused a lot in this project, it's going to be in the header, in the footer, and occasionally in some places. I'm going to add it as a component. So I'm going to say logo.tsx, and then I'm going to say, of course, it's a React functional component. And the logo is just let's make it a span. And then we'll add name of it's going to be tasty tracks. And then here we're going to add some SVG code. So I've got the SVG code, and here it is. And you get tasty tracks. Of course, tasty tracks is going to have to be in a span itself, so that we don't introduce confusion. And this one's going to be, of course, flex item center. Same thing goes. Repeat it again. And then in the header, let's add the logo final. A logo, import the logo, do this, save. I think it should work now. Now the header is starting to look a bit better. So we're gonna save. Let's continue on. So we've got we have managed to get this one. So it's grow and flex was gonna be justify center, so that its content will be centered. Now we've got these guys, but they have no hover effect, but we'll deal with later. So we'll start now with the hero section. So the hero section starts from where the header ends up until this point here, where we have the image or the hero image, and we have tasty tracks, don't wait for your food. So for reference, this will be an SVG file or an SVG content, so we don't have to deal with this complicated item or element, if I might say. And we've got the order now, book a table, and then we've got the subtitles here or types of food that are served in this restaurant. So let's start again. So we're gonna remove the header, we're gonna remove the logo, of course not the main. I've got the header here. So I'm not gonna create a new component here. I'm just gonna create sections here. Okay, so we've got a section. So the section will contain, it's going to be flex, and then going to be gap of maybe like 5. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of gaps. So it's going to be item center, and then we're going to have two things. So we're gonna have the image first. So the source is going to be // let's name it hero.png alternative. So let's say taste, let's give it a tasty tracks. This is just for accessibility, tasty tracks, hero image. Okay, and then we've got the the other one is going to be before it, so it's going to be svg, and then we've got, so we're going to have div, and we're going to have the svg here, and then we're going to have two buttons inside the span. Let's get a span, let's name it flex, gap of 2, and we've got a button, then we're going to name it order, not name it, just put content in it. Then we've got another one, which is going to be book a table. So we're going to import it. This will solve that issue. And then we've got this one. This one's going to be flex row. Okay, flex row. Okay, we're not going to say flex row. I'm just going to get the image, so remove this folder in the public, remove v.svg, and then I'm going to get the image and put it in the public folder. So there you go, we got image. Put it in the folder. Let's not name it landing. Let's name it hero.png. So hero.png save. If I do that, so let's restart again. So there is something I've done to test and I forgot to remove, which is this one. Background color of the body. Let's stay white. So I'm gonna say white here, so that it looks better. For the order now, it's gonna be obviously primary. Is there a tag that's called primary? Nope, I have to say primary manual. So we say primary here, and then I'm gonna get the SVG again, of course. So for the hero section, I'm gonna say hero logo. So we're gonna create a new component. Let's name it. Let's name the new component hero logo, of course, and then I'm gonna say DSX React functional component. I have the code pre-made, so let's name it hero logo. So this is just some SVG, pre-made SVG. Save this, and then I'm gonna import this guy, save, everything should work fine now. Now this guy is very big, obviously, so we're gonna try to do something a bit different. So let's say flex wrap. Just make it a bit easier. Now let's say justify center, so things go centric. Now this girl should have like a margin of 5, okay, maybe 10. It's kind of huge. Now, if I resize this girl here, so let's say yay big. So if I resize it like this, it'll appear like this. Now this girl should grow. When you say this grows, this means that this girl will take up a lot of space. And then I'm going to say text center. I don't know if it'll work. So this doesn't work. Now let's see. I think, let's get back to hero logo, and then so yes, I've set the width to 100%, and this makes it much more fluid, useful. Now, if you get back, let's say book table, this one, just get flex, let's say justify end. Now to do something, gonna do something like this. So rotate 45. Okay, 45, I don't think 30 something. Rotate 3. So let's make it a bit, let's rotate it more. Let's rotate it to 30 degrees. So 20 degrees. Okay, let's say 10 degrees. 10 degrees is good. And how do we offset it? So let's say translate x into 7. It will go this way, or I want it to go the other way. So I'm gonna minus translate, and then I'm gonna translate y to maybe 3. Okay, 7. 7 is good. minus translate into 10. Okay, then let's make this one 8. And I think it looks a bit better. So I'm gonna minus translate this one as well. Nope, translate it to 10. So this way it looks better. And I've got this button and this button. And so this is our hero section. The only thing that's left is an order list with a lead element with an anchor element. So of course the href is empty. Now let's say seafood 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 3, 6, 1, 6, 6 links. 3, 6. Okay. So that's food. We got chops. We got steak. We got drinks. We got food. I don't think this. I don't think this section needs to be in the same section as the hero section, but for the sake of something that I will discuss later, I have to put it here. So we've got desserts, which is desserts. Okay, so gotta do something here. So I'm gonna say class name. I'm gonna say flex gap of 4. 4 is good. That's cool. Now this thing needs to be so I could do here. I could do a yeah. I think I could do something else, which is okay. Let's switch to a grid design. Now there's grid columns. How many columns we have? So we have one FR, then we have one that is automatic. So we've got 2, and that seems good. Now let's see. So let's say calls 2, call span 2, so it spans 2 of them, and then FR. So you got this guy, the first one, this guy. So let's say grid column. Okay, not grid. So let's say call. So the first one's gonna be automatic. The second one's gonna be one FR. See. Now I think I should make them both one FR so that they take up good amount of space. Now the image needs to not have a width. So it is very good now. So this is, so say item center. Let's see, padding of 5. Okay, let's say justify center. And then the space is a bit smaller. Let's make them 10. Not the padding 10. Let's see. Yeah, the gap needs to be a bit bigger. Let's make it 7. Okay, let's make it 10. 10. So that's good. Seems very good. So we haven't discussed the fonts yet. So I'm gonna try to include the font. So most of the fonts are actually, I think it's Outfit. The first font is Outfit. The second one, we'll actually get to it in the other section. So going back to the header, let's see. So the image is gonna be -z10. Yes, that's it. So the image has to, not overlap with the header, so that it doesn't cause us any issues. So let's take care of some things. Let's first change the title. Title of the website. Let's just set it to Tasty Tracks. Don't wait for your food. Something simple. So let's say Tasty Tracks. Don't wait for your food. They should make it a bit better. And then again, let's import some fonts. So going back to the browser, I'm gonna go fonts google.com. So let's look for the Inter font. Got this one. Let's go to the get embed code. How many fonts we have? We have only this one, which is the Inter, which is variable. So let's get the embed code. So let's copy this one and close the browser. So we've got the font here. We got the pre-connect, these two. And then we've got the font family here. So go back to index.css. In the body, let's say font family. Let's make it Inter. This should make the font look better. Now, let's go to the logo. The logo, yes, and then this tasty tracks word is supposed to be bold. Font bold. True. Okay. Seems better. Now let's put some extra. So let's say tracking widest. Tracking. Let's not make it widest. Let's say make it wide. Just normal wide. Okay. Wider. Okay, this seems a bit better. If I make this one a bit longer, it should look better. That's cool. Now going back to the buttons. So I'll go to the app.tsx src. I will go to the main actually. I think it's gonna be theme something. Theme config. Maybe theme. Okay, I think it looks something like this. Theme config. Is this possible? Like this maybe? I see. So algorithm. Algorithm is mapping algorithm. Okay. Components. Okay. Token. Okay. Font family. Make it inter. Let's say theme here. Okay. So this is supposed to set the font family of the thing. So if I remove this, so I wanted to make a configuration here. So it's gonna be settings.json. This I will import from somewhere else. I mean type yes. So get it like this. Do this. Save. Close it up. So now when I do format the code, it formats according to the 4 spaces tabs. So this is good. The font seems a bit better now. So let's see. We've got all these items set up. And so let's go to the second section. So it's going to be a section. And it's going to be a very simple section with text centered. Text center. And the BG of gray 50. It looks better. And then we've got H1, which contains from our blog, and then a subsection, which is going to be maybe a paragraph, and it says explore our latest articles and recipes. This should look better. Now, I'll have to create some cards, and those cards contain information. So it's gonna be divider with a class name of flex, gap of 2. Okay, let's make a gap of 5, and then item center, and then flex wrap so that it's responsive. But for now, let's just use a constant. So to make things easier, I will just import the information directly. So I've got now our articles here. This is just a list of the text. I've imported it from the I just typed it up from the design. You could find it anywhere. So for reference, I will get the card and keep it in display while I design it. And for the title, I will just do like class name. Let's say text 9XL. So the text is huge. Okay, 7. I think 5 is good. 5 is very good. So font bold. Very good. Yeah, let's see, explore our latest. So let's see, last name. Let's do, okay, let's make it a bit text 2XL. And then let's say text gray. Let's make it 800. Okay, let's make it 500 then. 500 looks good. Now text XL, so it's a little bit smaller. Now for the section, it needs to have some padding. So P of 10, so that it looks a little bit padded out. Let's make it 100. Okay, let's make it 400. Okay, maybe 200. 200 so it looks a bit, contrasted on the screen. Now here, let's map every article. So articles, let's say map each article into something. We map each article into a div. It's not a problem. And then here we have this. Do this. Let's not forget the key. Of course, every map needs a key. So it's the index. Key is going to be the index. And then we've got in every div, we're going to need an img element with src equals the article dot image. So the alternate text is going to be the article title. Yes, that's correct. Now we've got the date. Now let's say, so we have to have a date component item. So let's say span, and it contains article dot date. Then you've got to add a, okay, let's add an h1 for the title. So article dot title, and then another one, but it's not going to be an h1. It's going to be description. Is there an element for description? Description. No, there's no description. So there's a paragraph. So article dot description. So this wraps it up. So we've got all things. So let's say class name. The display is gonna be a normal thing. So we're gonna be rounded LG. Background white. They should set some things up. And then so we've got our images. They are like art of plating.png. These images needs to be in the hero folder, or maybe let's say a new folder. Let's name it articles, and then let's get the images. So all these images, they have to be in articles. That's good. Now when you get here, the article image needs to be preset with this is gonna be not dot forward slash, it's gonna be articles forward slash something. So this makes the image work out of the box. So let me see. If I say here display flex and then flex row, flex call, sorry, the things should start lining up. Now rounded, it's gotta be XL, and then we've got our images. They're too big. Let's style the text elements, and then we'll go back to the image. So this one's got text end, and it's got text gray 500. Becomes better. Now it's got a padding of 5. Have to have padding 5. Okay, padding of 3. 3 is good. Now when we go back to the title, so if let's get back to the image here, and then we've got the title. Title's gotta have a font bold, and then it's gonna be text start, and then we've got some padding around these 3. So we're gonna go with div. We're gonna say class name b of 3. Then remove the padding from here. It looks a bit better. Now starting to shape up a bit. And then we've got text end. This one's gonna have a flex colon. So it's better. Now the arch lining has to have text LG. Very good. Now the description, last name of text gray. So text gray of 500. This looks much better. So we're starting to look a bit closer to the image. So let's change this one to an article. Let's give it a width of 96. This will make it better. Let's make it a lot better. And if we resize this one, let me see. Like this. So you got this, and then you got this. Now we have to say something. So we have to say justify center. So the cards will go to the center. Now for the size of it, let's make it 80 something. Make it 80. 80 is a bit small, but looks very good. So for this one, this is rounded to XL, and then let's make overflow hidden, so that the image is clipped with the roundness of the card. Now let's add a touch. So let's say shadow XL. So these things will pop up a little bit. So item center, let's say items start, so they go to the top. But I don't think that's good. So this is a better looking way. So if I resize, the cards go like this. If I resize, they wrap around. Okay, so let's add some padding here. So obviously I'm gonna say margin top of 5. This makes this thing better. So looking good, looking good. And this one has like it looks a bit weird due to the spacing. So I'm gonna add some space here. Let's make padding of 2. Let's make it a bit better, but I think padding bottom of 2. Let's make it better. Now this one, so flex column, let's give it a gap of 2. Then remove this padding bottom. So this will make it look kind of better. And then this one also has to have text start. So text start looks better. Now the padding is a bit small. Let's make it padding of 5. This should make it much better, and the width needs to go up a little bit, like 90 something. So 96. 96 is very good number. So for smaller screen, it'll look like this. Let's try to do something different, a bit different. So if we're on small screens, I'm gonna say if we're in small screens, so SM and up. So when it's small and up, it's gonna be 96, and in normal cases, it's gonna be 80. This is not small. This is MD. Okay, let's go LG then. So LG will go small. If you get it bigger like this, the card should be bigger. Yes, that's better. Now we go like this, it goes in like this, it goes smaller. So that's a bit better. And then looking back at the design, we see that it's actually looking a lot closer to the design that we made. So this is the from our blog section. So moving on to the other section, testimonials of the website. So let's do it like this. Let's keep it here. So we've got the exact same design as the so this section is done. So we've got the exact same design, but we're gonna remove this one, remove the maps here. I'm gonna save. And we've got to set the color back again to white. So from our blog, it's gonna change into what our customers say. And then it's gonna be here from our satisfied diners. Here from our satisfied diners. Cool. Okay, and then we have to import the testimonials. So I have it also as a const. It's ready, so it's not something that you should write by by hand. I'll try to send the JSON file into the description. As a matter of fact, I will put it in the project here. So let's say data.json. So we got data.json. Now the testimonials. So what we're going to do here is almost exactly the same thing as we did in the previous section. So I'm going to say testimonials.map, but this time I'm going to use just D, so we'll make it easier to work with the variable, and then when we're done, I will rename it to testimonial single. So I'm going to say class name. Of course, let's put the key first. This is the index. We don't need it. We just need to use it so the React knows how to use it, how to do that. So we've got the card. Let's say rounded LG, and then we've got background of white. So let's say BG white, and then we've got padding of 5. And then inside of it, we're going to use a design system that is going to be a grid. So let's see how we're going to do that. I'm going to do this. So edit in Paint. What we're going to try to do is divide the, put a line here, and then we're going to put another line here. This guy's going to be here. And then we're going to put another line here. So this is our grid. As you can see, it has 2 columns and 3 rows. Okay, so let's do this here. Let's try to do this. Okay, don't save. And let's make it a bit small. So we're gonna say how many columns. So grid calls. We've got 2 columns. The first one's auto. The second one is 1fr. It's 1 fragment. So it takes up a lot of space. So grid rows 3 rows. Make it better. And then we've got the icon, and then we've got the John Doe. Okay, let's first say ink icon. I think the icon is FI user from React icons, and save it. Let's see. Still don't see the. So we see it now. Now we see it. Now the background is gonna have to be. Okay, let's see, red 500. And then let's make BG opacity into BG, not orange, opacity into 10. So it's a bit, opacified. So we've got the user, and then we've got the title, which is h1, and it's gonna be t.name, yes, name, and then we've got the p, which is gonna be the t.quote, not the quote, but it's gonna be the name quote subtitle. And then we've got another paragraph, which is the description, t.description or the quote. So before this one, I'm going to do this, and this is going to be a span, and then it's going to be this, and then a class name of text extra large. So as you can see here, we have to set everyone's grid position. So let's put this one's size into 25. 25 is good. So we've got the H1. So the H1's gonna be in colon. Okay. So the column of the title is gonna be 2 to 3. So 2 to 3. Yes. The column of the subtitle is gonna be the same, 2 to 3, but row is gonna be 2 to 3 as well. 2 to 3 as well. For the icon, the column is gonna be 1 to 2, so we're not gonna touch it. The row is gonna be 1 to 3, so it's gonna span 2 columns. And then we've got this one, which is the quote. So it's gonna be a column of 1 to 3, and then the row is gonna be 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be 3 to 4. This is it. Now, if I save it, The thing is, I haven't set this display here to grid, so it won't work unless I do that. That's cool. Now we've got, so the rows, auto, 1FR, I think, like this. So it looks better now, and we're gonna do text start here, text stars, both places here, so that it looks like this. Yes, I'm gonna have to do gap of 2. Yes, and then we're gonna say item center, and then a justify center. It looks good. Now let's give this one a margin of 2. It looks a bit better. Then we've got this one text start, of course, and yeah, pretty much that's it. And then we've got this one's display grid, and then let's see wmin. Wmin is not gonna work, so w. So the width is gonna be 1/4. It's gonna be the 4th. And let's not do that. Let's make it 96. 96 seems good. This is only when we're going small and up. So the W is gonna be 80. Normally it's gonna be not 80. Let's make it 70 something. 72. Okay, only not this. Let's see LG. We want to learn large, so we're gonna say 80 here. So it looks better. So FA red user, FA red user. That's so it's not FA user, it's FA red user. FA red user. Yeah, looks better. And then we have to say the color is gonna have to be 000 and it's gonna be 5 or something, so it's a bit transparent. Same goes for this P. Gonna be text gray 500. Better. This has to have a font bold. Sorry. Save it. Better. Text LG. Even better. There's a trick that I'd like to do, which is do a thing like this and do margin, no, not margin, but border 1px solid red. This should give me an idea about what is going on here. So let's see. We've got the gap that is actually doing this thing. So if I say gap, yeah. So this is a gap x, only the x. So gonna give the gap only the x. Nope, it does not work, so we don't need the gap actually. We actually need the gap. So I'm gonna comment out this code. We might need it later, so I'm not gonna remove it. And it actually looks better now. The card needs a bit more of padding. Let's make it 10 maybe. Okay, 10 is overkill. Okay, this is perfect. Now let's stretch the page and see what it will look like. It looks absolutely perfect. Now what I will do is reset this size and let's remove the red background. Let's keep it white. And then for these guys, let's say shadow LG. Shadow LG. Let's give it a large shadow. So let's say XL. Maybe double XL. Okay, XL is good. Now XL shadow. This looks okay, but let's do BG gray 50 maybe. On this one though, the sections color. So this way looks absolutely cool. So what our customers say. See what our customers say. I think it looks better. So let's continue on now to the other section, which is the upcoming event section. Yes. So upcoming events. So it looks almost exactly like the cards, but there's just some minor changes that I have to do. So upcoming events. Check out our upcoming events and specials. Okay, save. And we're gonna scroll down. So the only thing that will change here is of course the data Yes, so we're gonna say upcoming event. So upcoming events, this is some data. You'll of course find it in the data file. So upcoming events, constant. This is just some temporary variables. Of course, we're gonna change them. So let's say upcoming events, and then we're gonna F2 this one to an EV. So it's a shortcut for events. And let's get back here and change this T to testimonial, single testimonial. So change this one, and then here upcoming events. Every event we will have an image, yes, but the image is gonna be like events here. So we're gonna public articles, and I'm gonna say public, and let's say events. So these files, they have to be here in events. Okay, and now that we have the files here, we have this. If we refresh here, we're gonna have all the images that we need. So this looks cool, and everything looks very cool. The only thing I need to do here is like do this, and then the class name, and do rounded XL, and then I would give it a margin of 5. This is it. So it looks a lot closer to the first one. So we've got px5, and then okay, let's keep p5. Okay, let's see pt0. So it looks a little bit closer to the original one. So we've got also this one not text ended, text at the start. Okay, text not end, text start, and let's make this one 2. And for the M5, it's gonna be MB0, like this, so that the date should look a bit closer to the image. Yes, and then the margin is gonna be 4, like this, so it's a bit better. Now, text here is not gray; it's a default color. And then there's so to fix the issue of the line spacing or line height, let's put it like 1.3. So 1.3 will make the text, evenly spaced. Nice space between the lines of the texts. So going back to the card, let's get rid of this one. Going back to the upcoming events card, the only thing that we need to add into the cards now is the learn more button. So it's going to be a simple button with learn more and 3 dots like this, and then we're going to save, and everything's good. Now let's say class name, and then we say self start, I think, rather self end. So this here will later take us to the event that we clicked on. So this is upcoming events. So moving on to the final section of the homepage is the about tasty tracks. And then we'll have the footer, and then we'll wrap up the homepage. So about tasty tracks, it's gonna be another section, and it's gonna be a display of grid. Is it gonna be grid? No, we're not gonna do a grid. We're just gonna do normal stuff. So we're gonna do display of flex, and we're gonna be gap of 10. It's gonna be kind of spaced out. So again, let's get the image. So this is our about page. So continuing along, let's see. So it has a huge padding of maybe 10 or something. And yes. And let's see. So I have about tasty tracks. So I've got, should we do 2 containers, or should we do just a grid? So let's go for the grid. Let's go for grid. I think grid is a good way to go here. So let's say grid columns. So I've got 2 columns and 2 rows. 2 columns, grid rows. So we've got rows, but we've got the first one's gonna be auto, the second one's gonna be 1FR. So this is it. Let's go now for the first one, which is H1. And it's gonna be about, and then I'm gonna say strong. tasty tracks. So strong is just a tag that will by default put the text inside of it in a bold. So the text inside of it is going to be bold. So both tasty tracks, class name, let's give it a, so this one doesn't need any. It's going to be text, I think maybe 4xlg, 4xl. Yeah, I think it looks good. And then we've got the description. It's going to be a paragraph. Okay, it's going to be paragraph. And then inside of it, there's going to be 2 paragraphs. So the 2 paragraphs text, I will just bring over. You can get it from the projects. The project is actually complete. I will provide it in the description. So we've got these 2 here, 2 paragraphs inside a div. Let's see, div, 2 paragraphs like this, save. And then we've got the div is gonna be in a, so row is gonna be, the row is gonna be 2 to 3. 2 to 3. And then the colon doesn't matter because it's gonna be 1 to 2. And then finally, we're gonna have to have the image. So we've got img, source is gonna be, let's see, let's name it tasty tracks, tasty tracks.png. So let's bring in the image. So where's the image? Where's the image? This is the image. So the image, we're gonna put it directly in the public. So tasty tracks, not like this, tasty tracks like this. Now save it, and it looks fantastic. Now this is about tasty tracks. So let's give it a class name. So we're gonna get so colon. It's gonna be 2 to 3, and then we're gonna go row 1 to 3. This should fix every issue we had. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Seems looks very cool actually. So let's say self-center like this, and I think it looks good, except that this guy is gonna have to say there's a bit too much spacing, so we're not gonna put gap of 10 if we remove the spacing. So gap of 10 only in the X section, right? Yes. So the gap of Y is gonna have to be 5, like this. And now I think it looks a bit better. So let's say rounded LG. So rounded, let's see, LG this way. Okay. XL seems good. Now object cover not contain like this, and that pretty much wraps the yeah. So for XL, the text is a bit big, so let's make it smaller a little bit. And then, yeah, best not to mess up with other stuff. Now moving on to the footer. So let's go footer. Footer should be easy to implement. Very simple, very small, very something, very, very, very easy to make. So first thing you should understand is this one is gonna be flex and space evenly. When we say space evenly, the space between tasty tracks and the icons is gonna be the same space as the space between tasty tracks and the left side and the icons and the right side. So we're gonna say class name, flex, items, center, and then say space, I'm gonna say, yeah, justify, I think evenly. Yes, justify evenly. So let's put the logo, as easy as this. So we've got our logo here, Yes, we're gonna need to add some padding, so it's gonna be P5, padding of 5, 8, let's see, BG gray of 500. Now we've got our logo, and then we've got our icons. So we've got 3 icons. Let's say, so we've got FA Facebook, and then we've got FA Instagram, and then we've got a Twitter, right? FA X Twitter, because we're gonna need to use the new icon instead of this old icon. So these ones are gonna be class name into flex, gap of 2, okay, gap of 5, gap of 5 like this, and we're pretty much done here. So let's get this guy back to, like, let's say shadow LG. Okay, shadow LG not gonna work. About tasty tracks, this one is gonna have to go BG gray 100. And this pretty much wraps up the whole website. This is how the website looks like. Let's see. So upcoming events, what our customers say about tasty track. So see why we need to design this one. So this image doesn't need to have as much space here. So we're gonna do is going back to about tasty track. We got great columns and calls. So the first column is going to be one FR, the second column has to be automatic. This makes it better. And then what we want to say is justify self to the center. Nope, self-centered. Yes, we want to make it self-centered. So if you got a very wide screen, it will look like this. If the screen gets smaller, it should be responsive enough to. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to work. So some breaks about tasty tracks. So if we say that this girl, let's give it a minimum width. So let's say min W of 96 maybe. Yes, so it will grow with you, but once it reaches the 96 width, it will stop and the image will start collapsing. So this wraps up the homepage design. So hopefully we'll continue on designing other parts of the website. And well, I think this is it. And if there's anything that I missed maybe, or you'd like to suggest for me, please put it in comment.